To come today. This is great to be here. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to answer the questions first, and the answers are yes and yes. Now, what we need to do is we need to celebrate diversity, but we need to be able to outreach to the community, and we need to be involved. And Fred Taylor has been helping me a lot lately, and Fred is, for all intents and purposes, is on my staff, right, Fred? We travel around together all the time, and one of the things that I have been, and I've spent an enormous amount of time with Fred, and he's reintroduced me to a lot of old friends who I have found very helpful to my campaign, like Bishop Barnwell, who's helped me focus on working together with people and how important that is, and how important it is not to forget people. And Pastor Jones is a new acquaintance who's new to our community, and is exactly the kinds of, over the last 5 years, is exactly the kind of person that we want to come to Phoenix by creating vibrancy. But how do we do that? We do it by working together. And that's one of the key fundamental reasons why I'm running for mayor, is that we have to work together. It's time to put the politics of division behind us. We need to, I'm a Republican, but I want to work with everybody in our city. Because I'm labeled a Republican doesn't mean that I don't care, because I do. I care deeply. One of the things that we're going to talk about when we do the speed dating is is my 7-point jobs plan. And in that plan, I talk a lot about planning, that we need to plan for the future. Because if we plan for the future, we can get ahead of divisive issues, and we can be ready to meet the challenges of the future. Planning is essential, but also reporting on the success of that planning is equally important. So we need to do that as well. But you know what we really need to do? We need to invest in Phoenix. And when we're doing a big project, or when we're building a big project like the convention center or light rail, we need to use Phoenix workers. We need to use Phoenix companies. We need to use Phoenix businesses. And we need to give them some points in the procurement system. Right now, the city of Phoenix doesn't even have a procurement code. We need to have a procurement code, and in that code, when we negotiate that code amongst the council, we need to prioritize that we have points for local businesses. And we give points to big contractors who are going to hire local businesses as subs. There's nothing wrong with that. We can ask and we can demand for our businesses to have a seat at the table, and we need to do that. And we don't right now. And so what happens is we get contractors from Atlanta and places like that that come in and do the work. And maybe if we're lucky, they hire a few of our people. But what we need to do is make sure, if we're going to spend all that money, that we're spending it at home. We bank $3 billion a year in Phoenix. We put it in the bank. We need to ask the banks, what are you going to do for us? But you know, I met with somebody the other day, and they said, I want to know exactly what you mean by that. What I mean exactly is that the banks, what we do when we go out with an RFP for our banking, that we say, we want you to set up a system, a fund that's going to fund small businesses up to $50,000. Now they've got to be qualified. They've got to be qualified to get that money, and they've got to, there's got to be rules and protections in there. But they need to invest it. And not only do they need to not show us, but they need to spend the money. They need to spend the money, so we have investment money. If we're going to put $3 billion in a bank, we ought to get something in return for it. And we've got to ask, and we've got to demand, and we have to do it now. We can't wait. So that's what I'm going to talk about during speed dating, but I'm going to talk about it a lot faster. So I really appreciate being here. I appreciate the opportunity. And on August 30th, I hope you'll vote for me, Wes Gullett, a new voice, new leadership, and some new ideas for the city of Phoenix. Thank you.